This week on the podcast, we're going to talk about why Charles does what he does and why financial advisors, I mean, while everyone does this, their different thing, it's very important the work that they do. Charles and I try to have fun on the podcast here as well, but it's also very serious work because you're dealing with people's forever money and you need to do the right things by people. So Charles has got a great story he's going to share with us. I'm looking forward to hearing that this week on the podcast. How you doing, my friend?
I am well. Thank you very much. I hope the people that are going to listen into this will stay to the end, because the end is the key to this whole saga, if you will.
The moral or the lesson is at the end.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And it's a good one.
All right, let's get into it. The tale of two sisters, right? So let's talk about it.
Tale of two sisters.
Let it rip.
A year ago, about a year and a half ago, we did a webinar on long-term care insurance. And, it was live and we had a bunch of people on, and a couple of days later we get a phone call from someone. Sheri answered the phone and talked to this lady, and it was, said, we saw your webinar, we want to come in and we've got some questions on some stuff, and, and what should we bring? And so Sheri said, just bring whatever you have. Let's just sit and talk and see, can we help?
Right.
And if we can, then we'll figure out what to do. If there's something you have a question about, bring it. We'll look at it. We can talk about it then and there, and maybe we can help solve that right now.
Okay.
So made the appointment, and they came over, and they had one had listened to the whole podcast. One had listened to most of the podcast. These are two sisters.
Right.
And we saw them coming. One of them is 77, one's 83.
Oh, okay. Longevity's good.
Longevity. They're both widows. They're both retired nurses, and they reminded us. And this is in the Jimmy, what's the movie where it doesn't matter. Anyway, they reminded us of a couple of characters in a movie.
Okay.
And we're sitting down talking, and they're saying it was really interesting. We enjoyed what you had to say. And one of the sisters slid a binder across the table to me, and I opened it up and I started looking at it, and I thought, oh my God, I've heard these stories. I've never seen this in real life.
Okay.
This was someone who had talked them into buying an annuity. An annuity, which isn't in and of itself is not a bad thing.
Sure, they can be useful tools.
They can be very useful tools. This one was for the youngest sister, who named her older sister the beneficiary. This had a surrender charge of 19% and a surrender period of time for 17 years.
And how long have they had it?
6 months.
And they were in their 70s and 80s. Wow.
Yeah. And they had in the first month you can say, no, I don't want this, and give it back, and all bets are off.
Okay.
They had gone past that. So this is someone whose life expectancy is significantly shorter than
17 years.
Yeah. Than the beneficiary's age. It was one of those things where I thought, I've never seen anything like this. They got so totally sold.
Yeah, they got
by this person.
Yeah.
What do we do? Because I had no idea.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, I'm going to do some research on this, and we answered some more questions for them and sent them on their way, and said, we'll get back to you because we need to find out. So I called several people in the insurance world, and I asked them about this, and they said, well, the insurance company is a good company. I didn't know they even had this kind of a policy. And then I explained to them some of the details, and they went, oh, holy crap. This is just nonsense. This is abusive.
I say definitely a tale of taking advantage of someone with a poor product.
With the completely
wrong
inappropriate product. Completely. And so what we decided we would do, we would write a letter to the president of the insurance company, because we had all of that information. So we crafted a letter for the sister, and she signed it. We had it. She said, well, these are words I would never use. And we said, that's exactly right. Now they know somebody's seen this, and in my opinion, they've been caught. So we sent it certified mail so that we knew it got there.
Okay.
And it got there. And then we heard nothing. They heard nothing. And we wouldn't have heard anything anyway.
Right.
Because nobody knows we even exist.
Right.
And so we 3 or 4 weeks went by and we had heard nothing. So I said, okay, we need to do something else. So on her behalf, again, we crafted a letter to the Attorney General of the state of Arizona and the director of the insurance commissioner for the state of Arizona.
Okay.
Sent them a little bit different letter, but also included the original letter that we had sent to the insurance company.
Right.
From them. She signed it. We sent them certified mail. So again, everybody knows what happens. They get all kinds of contact then. The governmental entities reached out immediately to them and said, here's where you go. This is what you have to do. And of course,
interesting.
They weren't sure what any of that meant. And then we heard nothing again from them for, I don't know, 3 or 4 more weeks. So we're into this
couple of
months plus.
Yeah.
And we're thinking, man, is this not going to work? Is this going to be a bigger fight than we thought it was going to be? And then we get a phone call. And the sister, Sheri, answered the phone. And the sister said, hey, wanted to let you know, we got a check. We said, oh, you did? And it was like, yeah, we got a check for all of it. So they sent every penny back to her.
That she had put in.
That she had put in. Obviously, the policy went away.
Yeah.
We have no idea. I know there was a charge back to the insurance guy.
But they didn't have to pay the surrender charge.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No, they got every penny. She got every penny back that she had put in originally. Here's the interesting part about it. I haven't said how much they put in. You have not? I have not. It was about $950,000.
Okay, yeah, $1 million. Okay,
I call it, yeah, close to $1 million that she had put in this, and had gotten completely screwed by the guy giving her a totally inappropriate solution.
Yes,
just criminally, in my opinion, criminally wrong. I mean, they should have taken. I don't know. I have no idea what. I have no idea what happened. I don't.
He was probably looking
at
the he was probably looking at the percentage sale on that annuity for a $900,000 $1 million contract. Yeah.
Yeah. He probably got 8%.
Yeah, putting him in a product that had a higher payout because they had a higher payout versus what was
right for the client.
What was right for the client. Yeah.
So, and then it was a conversation with them. They got it, and we talked to them a little bit more, and then it finally just kind of. They're darling, but they have all kinds of familial issues going on, and they have a brother that's even older than they are, and health is.
Well, they got longevity, but that's
They do indeed, and then we just kind of never heard from them again.
Interesting.
And Sheri and I looked at each other and said, "Okay, would have loved to have them as a client,
right?
But I'm happier that what we got to do was what we got to do without." Feeling like we needed to have them become a client because we got to do the right thing.
I like that. Yeah.
And that's why we do what we do. That's why the good people in this business do it for those good reasons, because you can help people. You can make a difference to people. And when you do that, that's the self-satisfaction of just being able to do the right thing for the right reasons. And you don't have to be compensated. Just help somebody.
That's awesome.
Give them one piece of information. Give them one little germ of an idea. Help them say, "Well, try this, maybe not that." That's all that matters. That's why we do what we do. That's the beauty of the business that we're in. Is you can make a gigantic difference for someone,
right?
And you don't have to get paid to do it. It's nice to help people and continue to work with people. We have clients we've worked with for 20 plus years.
Yeah.
So do most good advisors.
For sure.
But once in a while, it's just nice to say, I did the right thing for the right reasons and made a difference for them. And that's good enough for me.
There you go. And that's fantastic. So, and you never know, they may have felt, I was going to ask, before you got there, did you feel like maybe they were going to work with an advisor because they felt a little gun shy, possibly? You could certainly understand it if they did feel like, not working with someone, and they may reach back out, they may not, but either way, they won't.
It's okay.
Feel good.
It's okay.
Yeah.
They have so many other things that they make their life so complicated with in some circumstances. That it's okay. We got to do what we got to do, and we were happy to do it, and we did it for the right reasons, and made a gigantic difference in their life. I'm totally good with that. Trust
There
me.
you go. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, so I started it by saying, Charles, that, we try to have some fun on here. We try to offer some educational information. We try to offer some different takes on some things and whatnot. But at the end of the day, what you guys do is serious business because you're talking about someone's life savings. I'm thinking about that. $1 million for someone who's in their 70s or early 80s, and being in the wrong product could be very detrimental. So it's important to work with the right kind of financial professional and do a little vetting too when you go to find the right. That's why so many, every financial advisor I know offers those complimentary consultations and reviews to find out who's the right fit for them. Talk to one, talk to two, talk to three. Do a little homework, go find, go sit with some people and see who's the right fit for you. And also you can vet them. You can go to finra.org. You can go to a lot of places to make sure that they're above board and all that good kind of stuff, right? It's important.
Broker check is one.
Broker check, right? Exactly. And
it just says you're licensed, but that's okay.
Right. But that's okay. But I mean, you can look at different things and we'll put some links into the show notes this week from the description. So if you guys want to check some stuff out when it comes to, vetting somebody out. But if you're thinking about working with a professional, find someone who's got a good reputation, find someone who's got the right fit for you. I mean, I think at the end of the day, you can get a lot from sitting down with someone.
Absolutely. Look them in the eye and say, okay, is this someone that makes sense? Do they make sense? Do I trust them? Do they look me in the eye?
Yeah.
Because our job when we interview somebody for the very first time is to say, hey, can we help internally? This is between Sheri and I. Can we help them? And do we want to?
Yeah.
Because there are some people we just don't want to work with. We know it's not going to be a good fit.
Sure.
And we will tell them up front, we're not the right advisor for you.
And that's great.
It happens all the time.
No.
It doesn't happen very often, in fact, but when it does, it's like, okay, that's exactly the right choice.
Exactly.
In this case, we just got to help somebody because that was the right thing to do.
Yeah. I like it. I love it. And that's honestly, that's a subset piece of why we do the podcast. It's why so many different people use this kind of medium now to interact with clients or potential clients, because it's a way, hey, I've watched, 8, 9, 10 of these things or whatever. I kind of like this person, right? I think I want to go talk to them, right? I want to have a phone conversation and then I want to go in and see them or, whatever the case might be. So with that said,
we're here to serve.
There you go. So with that said, if you need some help, reach out to Sheri and Charles. And again, you can find the information in the description of this week's show notes. And we've had the number up on the screen if you're checking this out on YouTube as well. So all of that stuff's in the description, whether it's an audio form or video form, on Apple or Spotify or YouTube. We've got all that information there for you because financial choices matter. That's the name of the podcast. That's the name of the show. And, that's a great illustration of that from Charles this week here on the program. So don't forget to subscribe to us on, again, Apple, Spotify, YouTube. And Charles, thanks for sharing that story, man. That was awesome.
Happy to. It was a happy story, so that was great.
Yeah, and kudos to you and Sheri for helping those folks out and doing the right thing.
Thank you.
This has been Financial Choices Matter with Charles Scott from Pelleton Capital Management. We'll see you next time.
Ready to learn more? Get a complimentary review of your retirement landscape today. Reach out to Charles and Sheri at Pelleton Capital. Don't wait and let time pass you by. Sit down and build a rock-solid strategy that keeps the focus on you and your family. Visit Pelleton Capital or click the link in the show description. And don't forget to subscribe to Financial Choices Matter on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube.
Financial planning and investment advisory services are provided by Pelleton Capital Management Limited, a state-registered investment advisor. Past performance is not indicative of future results. No one should assume the information presented here serves as a receipt of or substitute for personalized individual advice provided by Pelleton Capital Management. For more information, visit www.pelletoncapital.com.